So, while I am extremely proud of myself for speaking my truth, I had always worried about how this would affect my children and keeping all of this buried deep inside me, just hoping one day it would get easier for me and easier. It just wasn't happening. So, I thought that now that they're all old enough, they're all adults. Of course, they knew about my situation. They had heard snippets here and there, and I have done some public speaking about it. They haven't really heard all of the details, and I had kept a lot of those details to myself, and I still have. Some of my children really want to be in this with me and provide a lot of rousing support. I know that they're all very proud of me. I know that it is extremely difficult to watch your mother go through the different levels of um, reliving this experience. It has been traumatic. It has been enlightening. It has been rewarding. It's been terrifying, absolutely terrifying. And the one thing that I don't feel at all is guilt. I don't have any guilt for saying who helped me and who did not help me and who provided protection to me and who did not. And when I was, when it first started happening, I did disclose to my cousin, who I loved very much, and finally then to my aunt, one of my aunts, and who did her very, very, very best to protect me. She really did. She tried to keep me away from him. She phoned the police and she phoned Children's Aid, and she in turn phoned my mother, and really led this whole let's get Honor some help, and let's love Honor. And while that was how I would hoped it would have ended, it's not the way it did end. Um, what I remember is having the police advising that my stepfather be removed from the home, and when I got back into Roseneath, Ontario, he was not removed from the home. My little brother was removed, but my stepfather was there, and basically had just threatened me that if I didn't say that I was a liar and that I had made it all up, he would then hurt my little brother. So, as young people in those situations often do, they feel like they have the whole family riding on their shoulders. And so at a very young age, I made the decision to recant. And so I did recant. So I felt that that was the way to keep my little brother safe and away from harm, allow him to have food where I was punished with food, where I went many, many days without food. And I didn't have a supportive mother that I could go to and talk to and lean on and have any kind of support from. I was just told to keep my mouth quiet, not write anything down in a journal, and just to continue saying that it was a lie, in which I did for many, many years. And I think, in fact, what happened is as it got around the family in the way it did, oh, Honor lied, then everyone fully believed that I had made the whole thing up. So unfortunately for me, I was alone, and I was without any help. There was no one but me to protect myself from the time I was 11 until the time I was about 17 years old. So taking this step now is very important. That consequences for that need to happen, and whatever those consequences may be, I have no control over that. What I do have control over is finally coming forward and speaking my truth without fear of reprimand, without fear of losing anyone that uh, ever loved me back then has been long gone from my life. And I have a wonderful, supportive husband, and I have wonderful, supportive children. And I have stepdaughters that are very, very supportive. And my husband's family is also very supportive. So that's why it's time now for me to go through this. I've got counseling available to me on a weekly basis. My children have the option, and some have taken the option of going through counseling while I go through this part of the disclosure. And right now, I have been given full choice whether I talk about it or whether I keep quiet and keep it to myself. And I just know that there are so many men and women like me that have been stuck in silence and stuck in shame and stuck in guilt, that too afraid to go to the police because of past experiences where they weren't good, or for the fear of not being believed. And I really, I am so grateful that I have good mental health and the ability to stand up and tell my truth honestly, and let the consequences fall to where they're supposed to fall, because it's important. As a little girl, I was so terribly hurt. I was so alone. It changed my whole life. It changed the trajectory of my life. It changed everything that I thought about, what I cared about, who I wanted to be. It snuck up on me in places where I didn't want to be alive anymore. And it snuck up on me many, many times where I really struggled with, post-traumatic stress disorder and complex post-traumatic stress disorder. And it also affected me where I became quite agoraphobic and quite anxious. And so keeping these secrets and keeping them for as long as I have, I'm 55 now, keeping them for longer is just enabling the illness to get worse and not better. So I'm really excited that I get to close the chapter, and I hope you'll come along for the ride, and I'll keep you posted as to where we are in the investigation and let you know how I'm coping and what I'm doing to really, really do a lot of self-care while this is in process. So I hope you'll come along for the journey, and if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Also, feel free to share the video. I would like people to know that it's possible, even after all of these years, that you can do something and you can help that little person. And Yeah, and I'm I'm really proud. I can say I'm proud of myself for doing something so difficult. Okay, so I'll see you in episode 2.